Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Black Empowerment 365. I am one of your hosts, Kente, all the way from Los Angeles, California, and I'm here with my wonderful and talented co-host, Kiana. How you doing, Kiana?
I am wonderful. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing excellent. It's been a great week. Great week. I've got a lot of stuff that I needed to do, accomplish, and I'm just going to enjoy the weekend. What about yourself?
I'm doing great. It was a beautiful day here in Charlotte. It's still been like 100 degrees all week, but you know that's what air conditioning is for.
You know, I don't have air conditioning because generally you don't need it in Los Angeles. But the last few years, it's been a special kind of heat. So I'm thinking about having it put in. So usually a good fan would be fine, but these last 2 years has been brutal. So we'll see. We'll see on that. But enough of my air conditioning woes. Let's introduce our guests tonight. I am so happy to introduce these two people because I'm a fan of their work. They have a show every week on Sunday, Living Your Purpose. And first, I want to introduce one of the hosts from the show. Ladies first, Miss Danielle-Anderson. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you, Kente, for having me.
I'm so glad that you are here with us. And also, we have life coach SJ. How you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm so happy to be here. I'm appreciative of this opportunity to intermingle with everybody, and we ready to rock and roll.
Right. Now, one of the cool things about this community that is called Blab is you get the opportunity to meet wonderful people. And, not a lot of communities do you get a chance to not only meet, fun and interesting people, but also, very business-minded as well as, culturally diverse and whatnot. And Blab has it all. We have the crazies. And then we have, the real smart, intelligent people that maybe you wouldn't get a chance to meet if it wasn't for this kind of platform. And the first person I did meet of the two was Danielle. She was one of the early people I did meet. And because of her, I was, able to meet Life Coach SJ because you guys do the show together. So in the tradition of this show, we always like to start off with the beginning. So I want to start off with you, Danielle. Where are you from originally?
I was born and raised in Washington, D.C.
All right. Chocolate City. And what about you, SJ?
I was born and raised in Irvington, New Jersey.
Ooh,
all right.
Jersey.
Dirty
I know.
Jersey.
It is dirty. I'm teasing. I lived there before.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, look, both of those places I have had, wonderful times. More so DC than New Jersey. But what was it like growing up there in DC?
I had a pretty decent childhood, actually. I lived in, I grew up in a more affluent neighborhood, let's say. Colloquial, we call it the white people neighborhood. But really, it was like 98% African American families there and some older Jewish families there. But it was where money was. My grandfather was well known in the city. He was an athlete, an Olympian, and he was a businessman, and he got to be well known and did well for himself. So we had a lot of good experiences, happy experiences. Living in upper North. You know how DC is shaped like a diamond? Mm-hmm. We're at the top of the diamond. That's where all the money is. We didn't have a lot of money, but we lived like we did anyway. But it was fun. It was fun. We were exposed to a lot of things, good and bad, but mostly good. Mostly good.
And the same question to you, SJ. What was it like growing up in Jersey?
Growing up in Jersey was an experience. I lived in as Danielle, certain parts of Jersey are, especially North Jersey.
Absolutely.
You have your. Say it
I
again.
said absolutely. North Jersey. Woo!
Yes, North Jersey. You have good parts. And so I lived in the beginning. I lived in, like I said, Irvington, New Jersey, which is, but more upper. So we had, we had a house, we had acres. But once, the divorce happened, then we came toward the bad part of the North Jersey, which was Newark. So I saw both sides of. I saw the affluent. I saw Maplewood or Hillside. Those affluent areas, middle class. And then when things got rocky, and my mom was a single parent at that time, then we moved to the hood. And I saw that, and I was able to adapt to that. So I saw both sides of Jersey, Newark and upper Jersey. So it was good. It was a good growing up because I think at that time in my era, it was family. The block was your family. Yeah, my mom's best friend used to beat us, or had the privilege of doing that. Teach. So it was that era. Was the era that I loved actually, and I got to see both sides.
Now, growing up as a young man, when you were in high school, did you know what you wanted to do with your life?
Not really, because I kind of like took on my older sister's way of I kind of like, she was my role model, so I wanted to do what she was doing, but a little better, so I didn't know that speaking was something, or teaching was something that I wanted to do until I would say later on when I started just doing it and started reading and learning and educating myself, and then that started happening for me.
What about you, Dan?
For the longest time, when I was a small child, I wanted to be a veterinarian up until about maybe junior high school. And then after that, I decided I wanted to teach. And
Okay.
so I'm not in a school like I thought I might be, but I find now that I'm teaching more, um, using the platforms that I have. I'm still able to teach. It's just not what I expected.
It's cool. We have
Yeah.
3 teachers on this lab, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
And I mean, I've taught things at different points in my life, but never like in a school or anything like that. Me personally, when I've had to deal with kids, it can be a very fulfilling thing. And then also sometimes, not necessarily the kids, sometimes the parents, it can be a very, as I say, head scratching. It can be annoying a lot of times. Let's talk about some of your experiences as in teaching. We'll start with you, SJ. Um, you know, what is it that you find most rewarding about teaching?
Uh, what I like about teaching is that the more that I teach, the more I learn about myself,
Mm-hmm.
and the more that the results that they get is very essential because I get the same results. So we're both working together. So I like the fact that they're getting that aha moment, or their mental awareness is heightened and increased. And then I get it too, because me educating myself, because I'm constantly reading, constantly learning about myself, when they get it, I get it at the same time. And it feels great that we get it at the same time, because we're looking at each other like, yeah, this is it, So I like that, the results that they get, but at the same time, it's a result for me too.
Yeah. What about you then?
So I love
I
it.
can mirror that sentiment pretty much. What I love when I'm able to get someone to see something a different way, and something clicks for them, and they're able to take that with them. I really, even now, I still get like emotional when someone says, "The thing you said, I do that now every day," or "There's something that you said a long time ago, and that stuck with me." And that kind of thing just comes back as a confirmation that I am doing what I'm meant to do, and on some of those times when I'm feeling like, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? Is this what I'm here for? And then things like that come back as a confirmation and say, yeah, this is it. This is why I'm here.
Yeah, at first, I when I first was in high school, I wanted to be a rapper. Like I really wanted to like flow, right? So I had the 8-ball jackets, I had the gazelles, I had the, back then that was it, scratching and stuff like that. So I thought what I wanted to do. I loved music, but it was something that I loved to do, but wasn't something that I, was called to do. So it's a
I,
difference.
I can
So
totally see that too. I can totally see that.
yeah, I was bad.
Know,
You couldn't tell
we
me
got
nothing.
Danielle sings, he raps. Why don't y'all
Danielle does not stop it.
put out an album together? Why not?
I don't know about that. I stopped singing a long time ago, but it was
Oh my
music was a very big part of my life growing up, and it helped me a lot. But I'm not there anymore.
Well, for
You could always go back.
okay.
Totally
Well,
fine.
for me, I taught in New Jersey. I taught at a high school, and I quickly figured out that high school was not the level that I wanted to teach at, and so I teach adults. But one of the things that I heard that you said, SJ, was that you read a lot of books. So for both of you guys, if you can let me know what is right now one of your favorite books that you can share with us.
I let ladies go first.
You got it's such a gentleman. One that I'm actually rereading right now is Miracles Happen by Mary Kay Ash. And that's the Mary Kay from the makeup company and stuff. And she'd written a book about how she grew up and how she learned about keeping a home, taking care of people, and basically grinding and hustling, and how she had to do what she had to do to take care of her family and made her corporation great. And that's very inspirational to me, like real life accounts of people. I like to read things and watch things about people who are doing the thing or who have done the thing and say how they do it or show how they do it. And I take a lot from that. So that's one of my favorite books, actually.
Okay.
For myself, I like metaphysics, so I am into, my favorite book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. In fact, that was actually the book that turned everything around for me. The Science of Getting Rich, Born Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Those type of books I like because it deals with a higher awareness that no one actually taps into, and so I show them that, and it's just a classic book for me, and I constantly read it like every day. In fact, when I was reading Think and Go Rich, it wasn't even reading; I was actually studying it like a school, So once that happened, it just like shocked me into another dimension of reality.
Yeah, when you spoke about studying, so tell me a little bit more about like your studying habits and what does it really take to really teach at the level you do? I mean, what are some of the things that you guys do? So let's start with Danielle.
I live life. Most of what I teach comes from my real life experiences. Now, obviously, I do love education and educating myself on different subjects. So I joke with my kids, listen, I live on the internet, so it's not really anything that you could do that I don't see or haven't already done. But so if something just pops up on my mind, and I'm going to YouTube, I'm going to Google, if there's a PDF, I'm printing it. If there's a book, I'm ordering it or borrowing it or going to the library or something like that, because I really do appreciate learning, and I have to make time for myself, even if it's just on the commute to my regular job and on my lunch break, looking up something else. And I write down key things and try to put them into practice and see what works for me. And sometimes it doesn't work for me, but I'll still be able to have that to offer to someone else and see if it works for them.
Yeah, I agree with that. My studying is more of, it's very important that application is needed on everything. I think that we have a problem with that. A lot of us don't really apply what we read. And so when I study, I kind of like read something and then I apply it and how I can apply it in my life. How does this paragraph, how does this word or line, how can I be able to apply it in my life? So it's all application. And I stress that with everything, even any studying that I do, it's all about how does this relate to me? Because everything can be relatable.
I also like comparison, like taking information that I gain from one source and compare, how does it compare to the other things that I've learned and other sources that I've read, other authors, other students. A lot of my study goes into the area of comparative religion, metaphysics, and things like that. But and I find a lot of it is very much the same, but it's just from a different perspective, different words, different cultures. But and that's where my ministry comes from. It's from learning from different places and seeing how many different people are actually saying the same thing.
Now, when I met you for the first time, Danielle, you wasn't introduced to me as Danielle-Anderson. In fact, you carry another name that you go by, and you were introduced to me as the mayor, and mayor specifically of a place called Crazy Town. Now I remember, I went on Google Earth. I didn't find it. I don't know if
you can't find Crazy Town on the map. It's
you can't find it on the map.
Crazy Town is in the great state of mind, and it's. I'm just looking at the comments. I love these people. I really do. Yeah, Crazy Town is a place that basically is what I call the inside of my mind. Which, if someone goes in without a guide, you might get lost. But it's what I call where the voices in my head come to hang out. And basically what that means is, because I do so many things, I have so many interests, and I have so much to share, Crazy Town, the website, became a place where all of that stuff can go. And that came from Periscope. And that was awesome. That was an awesome experience and it has become a community of over 2,000 people now on Periscope alone. And I had no idea. It's been almost a year now. I had no idea what I was doing when I hit that red button, but it's become really, really awesome. And basically, it has turned into a place mainly to uplift, encourage, motivate people, and that's how SJ and I came across one another.
It's one of the few places that I would go to that had crazy in the title.
I'm so glad you decided to become a citizen. It's a great place to be. You can't,
right? Because usually I avoid places that crazy or danger, or
that's kind of
right.
And a motto that is one of Crazy Town, but it's been mine for years, is one must maintain a certain amount of silliness in order to retain one's sanity. And if you hang out with SJ and me before we record or after, I'm a complete nut. I'm crazy. I'm like a goofball. I'm silly, and it's great. It's fun because for a long time I didn't laugh, and I was a very dark person. Well, I wasn't a dark person, but I was in a very dark place. and I realized that I did not
Mm.
laugh. And I said, I need to laugh. And I felt so much better. And I want to make sure that I laugh every day, and I make somebody else laugh every single day, no matter how bad I'm feeling, because it helps. It's easy to fall into sadness or depression, and it's real easy to get lost in it. So in order to keep myself on a even keel, I make sure that I laugh every day.
You know, what's interesting too by you saying that, I never heard you say that, but one of the things that you notice about yourself is that you smile a lot. That you seem like a happy person. So that's one of your great qualities. So one thing I love about you guys have great chemistry on your show, and we're going to get real deep into your show. And you
I
guys
get
seem,
that a lot. We hear that a
you
lot.
seem
You
like you
guys are
guys have
great.
known
I
each other
think
for
somebody
like
asked us
30
once
years.
if we were
Well,
married.
Yeah.
No.
right, right. Right? You guys, you know. So how'd you guys meet? And you kind of alluded to it. How'd
I'm
you
gonna let
guys
you do
meet?
that one,
And
SJ.
tell us about
Okay. Well,
just working with each other. Anyone who
I
can do
first
that.
started out on Periscope, doing my own thing with inner soul development, and I figured, this is a great platform, and I was trying to get involved in it. Periscope, you gotta kind of train yourself or learn it a little bit, so people can follow you. Because after a while, at first I was getting zero people. Nobody knew who I was. So after a while, I started being consistent with the Periscope
Yes.
and started doing my little morning mojos or whatever the case may be, and I started getting a little followers and stuff like that. And I came across Danielle-Anderson because I was like roaming, uh, just so I could see who's popular. So I saw Danielle-Anderson, and I'm listening to her, and I didn't do it the first time. The first time, no, I let it go. And I wanted to see exactly how I wanted to see her energy. I wanted to feel her energy. So I was a follower of hers. I wasn't a citizen of Crazy Town yet, but I started following her consistently, and
Mhm.
it's funny because I'm creative, and I think that's the whole thing of me. I'm very creative. So when I saw her and I heard her, I'm like, she's saying some stuff that I agree with. This is great. So everything she was saying was just perfect. So I just hit her up in the comments and like, we need to talk, you know.
We need to
And she did,
connect.
yeah, we need to chat. And she's looking at the comments like, who the hell is this motherfucker? What the, you know?
Whatever.
So no, she was
I
just
did
like,
not.
oh, okay, well, hit me up. And then I just came up with the idea of the show, Living Your Purpose, and she was down for it. She was ready to go, and I like that because the energy was so right on point, and it needed to be done at that time. So it was like it was very swift. It wasn't any type of resistance at all.
Right. Yeah, it was interesting, and when I
Yeah,
think it was
it
maybe
was
one of my
Q&A
Q&A
Thursdays.
Thursdays or something like that. That's when I did mostly is like a hangout session, ask me anything about anything, get to know me, ask me advice, whatever. Um, and SJ said, "Yo, we need to connect," and I said, "Okay, cool." And that's how I am with pretty much anybody who's willing to, talk to me, collaborate, you know, become a client, whatever. Hit me up, send me a message. I'm very quick to respond. So I had no idea what he wanted to do, but I learned about it, and we actually had another partner in the very beginning, and it was from that day we had a conversation. Maybe 3 days later, we were on a conference call, figured out the name. He said, "I want to do a blab. I want a blab," and SJ didn't even know what blab was. at that point. I was like, well, have you ever done it? He was like, no. Have you seen it? No. Do you even have an account? No. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be the expert on behind the scenes on this. But it was really, and then maybe 2, 3, or 4 days after that, we did our intro show. That was September 17th. And since then, that was on a Thursday. And since then, we've been doing it every Sunday.
Yep.
From 6 to 7 Eastern. And the only times we have not been on was Christmas, New Year's, and Easter. And I don't think
I like that because, like I said, when I had the idea, it was to do the show and to create awareness, of course, but to, like, you know, do different types of events and go out and speak. And so, you know, when I mentioned it to her, it wasn't any, like I said, I love the fact that there wasn't no resistance, because it was just an idea in my head. And we actually came up with the title together, Living Your Purpose, and we just went with it. It was just something that disconnected and had to be done.
Yeah. And I think, you know, when you are living your purpose, and I've said it many times, when you are on the path that you're meant to be on, then the people that you're meant to be on that path with will come to you. And it just so happens that an app brought us together. We've yet to meet in person. So, you know, but I think our chemistry is really awesome too. And it's cool. It's really cool. This is like I can almost call him my brother. You know what I mean? It's like really cool vibes that we have, and we're able to agree or disagree, and we don't get upset. We just say, okay, well, what do you think? You know, we're able to have open conversations. And
you've been meditating.
Oh yeah,
you've been meditating, SJ. What are you doing? Slow it down.
Right.
And I be slowing it down too.
I do say that because his energy is so high, and I appreciate you for that. Because when SJ meditates and gets all creative, that means Danielle has to execute. I said, wait a minute. True. Okay, give me a second. But we're able to communicate that with each other really well, and I do appreciate that. I'm very grateful for having met SJ and walking on this journey together.
Well, you guys, I actually met SJ on Periscope. I remember you from Periscope, but I did meet you, Danielle. But I really want to know what, when you guys started the show, and out of all the shows you've done, what would you say, which one stands out the most to you? And individual, so it might be different for both of you. So Danielle, you can go ahead and go first.
Oh, that's so hard. It's so hard.
32,
how many have we done
35,
now? Like 35? So like 35 shows, I think, that we've done already. And everyone is a good one. Everyone is, I think, wow, this is really tricky. I like our interviews a lot.
Go ahead. Yeah, you did.
Did I take your answer?
I'll find that one. Don't worry.
Is one in particular? No. It's one in particular. I think I know the one that you're thinking about. But I don't know. I think those are the best ones because we really get to connect with and learn our audience a lot better, to understand where the people who are watching us are coming from and who we're helping, who we're talking to. So that's and also to share their story to maybe, you know, help them even more, and let them help somebody else. I really do appreciate that. Other than that, though, I really like when we do like open conversations, which we try not to do too much because we don't want it to get out of hand. But once in a while, when we have our like Q&A, ask us anything, or you know, how can we help you episodes, stuff like that. Because we just basically give the show to the audience and say, let's talk. What do you want to talk about? You know, we don't want to always present you an idea to talk about. We want to know what's on your mind. I really like those where we interact a lot more with the audience.
Mine is also the interviews. One in particular. I forgot. I don't want to mess up her name. Yes, Katrina Rayford. Yes, that is one of my favorite ones. Who she was 1,000 pounds and she lost weight and she continues on her journey to weight loss. She even has a daily Periscope. She's always on Periscope consistently in the water, treading and doing her exercises, but losing all that weight, going from hospice, I think, to now 500 pounds down from 1,000. So that was really something that was emotional because she was telling her story. And I like emotional interviews because we're able to be transparent and we're able to get in and we're able to help others. When you're able to be so transparent, you can help others that may be going along on that journey. And there was people that were in the chat feeling her 100% because they were going through it. So I like the interviews like that. We interviewed Danielle-Anderson. That was a great one too. We got into her, dig deep. So those interviews are really, really important because it helps. We don't want it to be just. It's not our show. It's everybody's show. And so everybody's involved. Everybody can help others. And so with the interviews, it's very key that we have really special ones because people are watching and we want to make sure that they get the best out of the interviews as possible.
And kudos to you guys for doing the heartfelt interviews. I kind of stay away from those because I have such a tough guy image, and I don't want to break down and start crying. And
Oh no, we're gonna get you.
Yeah,
your time is coming.
Yes,
my gangster image, So, but
we haven't had one yet that somebody didn't break.
Kudos,
exactly.
And it's hard to get me.
Yeah, well, so we'll keep the crying off of Blab for me, but so. Now, one thing I love about you guys, both of you guys, is that the energy from your show is really good and positive. You guys are very upbeat, and because there's a lot of times where you come on like shows, even on this platform, and the people kind of have this kind of, wretched attitude, and they don't like anything, and they're gonna talk down to their people. And there's a word that I'm gonna use, and I can apply it to all you guys, right? But there's people that I've said this numerous times that I don't, on this platform, I don't care for. I won't say names. The dirty word is, it can be life coach, right? There's a lot of people on Blab who say they're life coaches, and I wouldn't let them coach my dog's life, right? But you guys, you guys are. What I like about you guys is you don't talk down to people. You don't try to make people feel like they're stupid or whatever. You actually empower people. So, and you guys both do that. You don't do the good cop, bad cop. You guys are both the good cop. So, but then you can be stern when you need to be, but it always feels like it's coming from a good place. So, is that something you guys talk about? Is it just natural? Or, tell me, your ideas when it comes to life coaching and how to approach someone who's in need.
Mm.
The way that we are on the show is how we are in life. You don't get any, we may be a little bit more high energy and upbeat because it's a, program. We want to keep people's attention, and that's fine. Coffee helps me a lot in that. But outside of that, it's just how we are. And I think for me, I strayed away from the term life coach for a while. In fact, in the earlier episode, you would have not heard me say that. In the intro, I would said a whole bunch of other stuff, all my other 100,000 titles, but you would never hear me say life coach. That's only a thing that's happened in a few months, recently. So, but I think we're different than other life coaches because the feeling of talking down on someone is because I think that person has already reached a certain point in their life where they're affluent and they're able to say that they've gotten so much done and they've made this much money, they get paid this much for speaking events, and we're just regular people on a journey. And we take from our experiences that led us here and we tell people what works. And SJ and I are very big on transparency. We both work regular 9-to-5 jobs. We have families. We don't travel the world and all that kind of stuff yet.
My girl goes right in the background every now and then.
Right. Wifey is walking in the background. You hear people knocking on my door. A teenager pops a head in or something like that. We're real people, just like you, living life. Sometimes, I think SJ laughs a little bit when I go tough love on people, you know. And I think I saw somebody in the chat that I actually did that to on the show or after the show one time. But it's just, you know, different people need different things, and you have to act accordingly to different people's needs, their personality, and that's how I operate.
Right. I think it's important for us that the difference is that we don't come off as a title of a coach. We don't come off where we don't have it against, you know, we don't say where, you know, it's not so out there. But what we do let them know is that we're on the journey together. We always say that we're on a journey. Everybody's on a journey. And what our show does is help you overcome those challenges that go with the journey. And we're with you as well. So it's like, you know, with the tough love that she gives, it's all in efforts to help. Because I think that one thing that we always say is that we're servants. We always say that we're servants. So, and we know the essence of a servant. And a servant is not somebody that's going to talk down to you. A servant is going to help serve you by the hand, wash you up, clean you up, get you ready. But, you know, and we help you to apply. And so with our topics is always about what we have experienced. Most of the topics that Danielle-Anderson does is a topic that happened regarding her life, and we talk about it. And I think that's her therapy when she has a topic that deals with something that she went through during the course. And me, of course, I like to stir up some things sometimes. So I like to make sure that, you know, it's something that I find that needs to be talked about. And the stuff that she goes through we need to talk about it too, because she's not the only one that's going through it. So we all are on a journey together, and that's what we focus on, key on with living your purpose.
Now, you know, the life coach or the expert that I see on this platform, as well as other ones that annoy me, is the one that sits back with their cigar, who's, you know, they've gotten success, and they want to act like they never made any mistakes in their life. And, you know, and like, oh, you started a business and you had problems, you know, you're a loser. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that dude, because we've all made mistakes.
That's not a life coach. That is a business person, maybe a business coach, maybe someone who has gotten successful and want to show other people how they did it. But that's not a life coach. That's someone who maybe a motivator, you know, and that's their brand of motivation, you know, be a winner, how to win at life, how to do, you know, how to beat out the competition. That's not what we do. We're not about worrying about what everybody else has or doesn't have. We're worried about, when I say I help people to look good, feel good, find and walk in their purpose, it means to make sure that they are right on the inside so that they can see the beauty of themselves on the outside and move forward in the path that they're meant to take and nobody else's. And I get it. That kind of stuff annoys me too, but I just stay away from it, you know?
All right. Well, Xanadu had a very good question way back in the day. Let me scroll, scroll up
Back in
here.
time.
And she said, you hear people all the time talk about building a team in business, and you guys met organically. Can you share with us how you knew you could trust each other to head toward the same vision? This is an excellent question.
Great question.
That is a good question.
Well, it took time for me to analyze Danielle K. Anderson. Like I said on Periscope, like I said, I didn't jump on it right away. It took me time to see exactly where her angle was and what she was doing, and if it even fit to what I believed in, because it's all about what you believe in your belief system. So if she was a little bit, off as far as beliefs, I would never have approached her. But it was so on time. It was so just like what I believed, and she saw the future, and she saw that this is what we need to do, and just her way of coming about. When I was following her with Crazy Town, I was following her when she did the Q&A. I was following her when she was doing different topics, and it all meshed. So it was me studying her. And that's how you can kind of gauge whether or not this is somebody that you want to actually do business with.
Oh, SJ. For me, I'm more of an intuitive person, and I'm like a look and see, cautiously type of person. And we had our interactions on Periscope, and I like that platform a lot because it allows people to be more themselves, even if they're pitching something. You can't, and they're experienced at it. You see that they're pitching something, but they're more comfortable. Usually, they're more genuine. Or even if they're uncomfortable, you see it, and it's not edited. It's not. You can't go back, cut, and start over. It's them. So, I followed SJ for a while, and I saw his stuff too. And then we had our conversation. I was like, okay, so what are you trying to do? And it came around the same time that I was actually contemplating or formulating a show on Blab of my own. And it just turned out, I said to myself, I could really use a partner. I could use a co-host. And it just happened that way. So I trust the universe or God or my gut, whatever you want to call it. I trust that enough. Whenever something's a bad idea, I know right away. If it's good, then I think about it. I find more information, and I look at all of the, the pros and cons and all of that. But it did not take me long to do that with SJ, with Living Your Purpose, because it was, like SJ said, it was right on time. It was right on mission. It's right on task. So it just like Xanadu said, it was organic.
Yeah.
It was genuine, and it clicked. So, only time will tell what happens in the future. But so far, so good.
I totally understand what you guys are saying, and me myself, I wish I could sell this technique. I'm really good at looking at someone in their eyes and telling if they're full of it or not, and it's a great gift. And
my eyes get them every time, honey.
In your eyes, and I knew he was legit. And same thing with SJ. I do the little stare, and then I can just tell before they even say anything. And I'm not 100% accurate. I'm like 97.9% accurate. So
very
That's
good.
pretty
That's
good
really
odds.
good.
I would say so. I was wrong in 1984.
He's probably telling the truth.
84.
I was off that night, so you got to forget. But no, but the one thing that like I said, I love this platform, and I hate this idea that maybe this platform, I don't know, is going to be around long or whatever. But the community is so really cool. It's a really good community. And one thing that I can tell about your guys' show is that you guys are creating a community, not just on this platform, but outside of the platform as well. And talk about that, this idea of creating a community that's centered around your show and the different things, and we're going to talk about yours as well, Inner Soul, SJ as well. Talk about this community building that you guys are doing.
We are everywhere because, as SJ says, this is needed everywhere. What we want to do is be able to make ourselves more accessible in more places because everybody's not available 6 o'clock Eastern on a Sunday. You know, for some people, for you can say that's 3 in the afternoon. And people are busy. People are picking up kids or they're still at work and they can't really participate. So that's when we went over to YouTube. Because one, I love YouTube. I'd already been a creator on YouTube for a while, so I said it's just a natural thing. So we had our video stored for a while, and when we said, okay, let's really do it, we set up the channel and had it there. So that people have the ability to go to YouTube if they don't happen to have a Twitter account. They don't necessarily want to be on Blab. They don't necessarily want to participate live, but they can go ahead and be there. We obviously on Twitter, that's how Periscope and Blab became a thing. So we stay on top of that. And we are on Facebook pretty active anyway. So we said it only makes sense to create a community. And we had this conversation. We said, do you want to do a fan page or do you want to do a group? And we both settled on the group because a fan page is just sharing information. And we do that on all the other platforms anyway. We do that on Twitter. We do that on YouTube, on Google Plus, if people pay attention to Google Plus anymore. We already do that. So why not build a place where people can really connect with one another? It's not just about us presenting you a topic and saying, hey, our show is on. It's about saying, what's up with you guys? You know, talk to each other, ask questions, bring up conversation, post something silly, whatever it is. Just build upon the relationship that Living Your Purpose is doing, where, you know, like minds can come together and commune and support one another.
And I want it to be interactive. We don't want the Facebook group to be a regular Facebook page. You know, the whole idea of the Facebook group is for us to hold each other accountable, help each other with their goals. You know, and tell us about your victories that you have overcome during any type of situation that you went through, so that you can help each other. And so I think that, you know, we didn't want it to be a regular Facebook page where you're just looking at posts scrolling. No, we want you to get involved. It's all about involvement. It's the same thing with our show. It's involvement. Where, you know, this is not like Danielle always says, this is not a presentation. This is a conversation. Correct. So, you know, that's how we wanted the Facebook group to be as well. You know, I saw something in this chat where it says, you know, all you got to do is follow your dreams and that's it. To a person that follow it may be a mission. It may be hard to follow your dreams. So, you know, they don't, right. So that's easier said than done. And so we want to let them know that with Living Your Purpose, we'll show you step by step and lead you in the right direction. And then we have the Facebook group platform to be able to, so you're able to see how others are doing it. Because if you see others are doing it, making it, striving, focus, commitment, then, you know, you're encouraged. It's all about positive TV. That's what Living Your Purpose is. Positive TV.
Right. I love it, man. I love it. It's definitely neat, necessary. It's definitely. Now let's talk about your platform, Inner Soul, SJ. Now, and you don't just say it. You have a way.
No, he says.
I'm not going to even try to imitate you. I'm going to let you do.
You want me to? Oh, no, I can't do it. I'm not even in the mood. No, stop.
Do it.
Inner Soul
in the mood.
Development.
I love it.
I came with that because everything starts from within. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just your soul, which is you. It's inner soul, that spirit we're going to deal with. So, and we need to develop that. So that's the whole idea of me coming up with inner soul development, because it's deeper than just physical or on a physical level. To make the progress that you need, it's all about what's going on spiritually with you.
All right, love it. Now, I think a lot of us, we do these things because we have a story to tell. We want to serve, as you say, and help people. And how much how gratifying it is to create a platform such as this and know that you are helping people. When people say that they listen to your show and they got something good out of it that helped them in their lives, tell me how that feels for you.
Practically indescribable. It's shut up, SJ. You can see it. It overwhelms me with gratitude and um, just love and emotion. It makes me want to do more of it because I mean that's the thing that keeps us going. We wouldn't do it if we weren't helping people. That's why we're in it, and to know and be told every week, you guys, I love you guys, and if we happen to be off because it's a holiday and we have other people in our lives, they get mad. They get upset. Like, where are you guys? I don't understand. I missed it. Are y'all doing this show? I've got text messages, Facebook messages, tweet messages, Instagram DMs. Where are you guys at? What's going on? And that, to me, even though it's like, one side of me is like, can I take a day? Can you give me a break? Can I take a day? But the other part of me is like, man, this is awesome. That is so great that people support us so much and are actually, and not just because we're nice people or, we look good or we're funny, but because they're actually taking from us what we have to offer, and it's being, it's useful to them. So it feels wonderful.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's an awesome feeling. It's an awesome feeling because we know we're doing something right. We know we're supposed to be where we're supposed to be at 6:00 Eastern Standard Time. This is where we need to be
Every Sunday
like clockwork.
Like clockwork.
So, it's good to be able to know that, people appreciate what it is that we're doing because people want to grow. It's not like, people know that there's something better for them. So we want to make sure that, they get the best out of it. Every day, every show, we put as much energy as possible out of us because we want them to get the best out of it. So, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to do the show, and it's an amazing feeling to have the followers, and it's an amazing feeling to know that somebody is resonating. So,
and it's like I've been saying since before Living Your Purpose. If it's 220, 200, 2,000, it doesn't matter. As long as somebody is getting something from what I have to offer, then I will continue until I can't anymore.
That's awesome. Well, I want to go back to your community. I really want to hear, because I love hearing results, and I want to hear one person that really stood out to you in your community that really had a lot of success and they shared their success. Does someone that stands out to you the most?
For us right now, because our community is pretty young still, right now it's like small victory. If somebody, whether it's on Facebook or on Blab or someone sends us a message and say, yeah, that really helped, or I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna try that, and then they come back and say, I did that and I tried that, and I say, how did that work for you? So it was great. That's even that little thing is enough.
That's
to say
huge.
That's a victory. That's a success.
We actually had a good session. I love the sessions that we have on Living Your Purpose. One of them was Quayla. And we, her thing was trying to
take her off the air.
Yeah, we was trying to, she was trying to find her way as far as living her purpose, and she took down. She really, we really loved on her, and she really appreciated it, and that was actually one of my favorites too, because when a person has a issue on air and they're trying to figure it out, and we're able to kind of give them a little bit of different perspective, that alone is a victory to me, because they're like, okay, I'm gonna try that.
I think Quayla is definitely SJ's baby. I think mine is Greg.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
remember Greg
yeah,
early on
yeah,
with the airplane? And
yeah.
I think he's still here. I don't know if he's still here or not, but he was like my first like on air tough love kind of
Yep.
situation. It was after we recorded, but it was just something he was talking about. You know, I'm not sure what my purpose is, but I always love this, and I've been doing this for 30 years, and all of that. And then I
Oh,
said something to him,
Greg.
and I said, yeah. I don't want to tell all of his business.
No, of course not. Of course not.
But I said something to him, and I said, well, how long would it take you to do the thing that you wanted to do? And he just went like this.
Yeah.
And you could see the light turn on, and the wheels start to turn. And he was like, you're right. You know, I can do that. And I said, well, you know, there's a place here you can find that. And I followed up with him a couple weeks later on Twitter. I said, hey, did you ever go to that place? He said, I sure did. And I talked to these people, and so stuff like that. That's a win for us. I mean, if it's about, you know, taking tally, that's a win. If someone really just gets it,
I like that.
for whatever it is for them, if they get it. I love to hear Xanadu say right on.
Right on.
Right on. Okay. Right on. You know, y'all know Xanadu. So whenever she says right on, I know she's hearing something that clicks for her. And you know, even if and she's come on and asked some heavy questions. And once she says right on, I know she got it. And that, I love that. That makes me feel good. Like she's learning something, and I appreciate that. So those are the successes that we have right now, because it's so small. We haven't been doing this even a year yet. The group has been around for a few months. I don't know. Did we start it this year? I don't know. Yeah, we started in 2016, I think. So it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that big yet, but those who are there, who are consistent, the ones who they may not post every day, but they definitely respond. They engage in conversations. We know that they're there not just for us, but for themselves and for each other.
I really don't want you to downplay your successes. I don't care how, even if it's a small community, even because you even mentioned that, even if it's 200. Yes, I think what you guys are doing is amazing. So, I mean, even in a community, and actually when it's smaller, it's more intimate, and you can really do more work in that type. And that's what it sounds like you're doing anyway. So I applaud you guys for everything that you're doing. And I mean, what's that?
I hope I didn't come off as ungrateful or because I am grateful for every single one of the people that are in there. And like you said, 220, 200, it doesn't matter. But in order to gauge certain, like, because we're so small, we have fewer people to kind of, you know, gauge whose successes are big or great. Right. They're all big. They're all great for them. And that's what matters the most.
Yeah. Our main concern is that next step. You're sitting there with the 2 feet together. Our main concern is for you to take that next step. That's it. As long as you take that next step, then you can also take the next step. And then this is the next step. It's all about tiny successes in your life that can be epic forever.
Guys, people know if you are on Blab, you know this one thing. There are two kinds of shows. There's the shows that are on record, and there's the shows that are off record that unfortunately we'll never get to see again or see. You just have to be there. And just about anybody who does a show on Blab knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes the off the record show can be even better than the one that's on record.
Let's see what Xanadu said, and then there's the after Blab, which is great.
I've been in your after Blab for your show many times, and I'm like, man, y'all should, if y'all can sneak and record this is some good stuff, right?
We tried it. We were like, no, we can't do it.
It's kind of like a pre, it's a confessional, I guess. But still, though, it's some good stuff, though, after Blab. So talk about some of the moments in your after Blab that, that was good. Because, like I said, we don't get everything. All the good stuff, unfortunately, doesn't get on tape. So
that's why we say it on the record. I make sure that 2 videos all say, if you're live, stick around. And if you're not live, get here. Ooh, they messy. We are not messy.
Said they messy.
Telling all the business.
Well, you know why we do that? We found that the after Blab sometimes is longer than the regular show, which is awesome. It gets late because Mama tired and got to go to work early, but sometimes you don't want to. SJ has after Blab from the bed in the covers, head covered up and everything, just lights off. He said it's like crack, man. It's like crack.
Hey,
but
I got the food.
But
I'm ready.
Just said people like to talk when their red light is off, and that's why. And sometimes we'll have a show. Maybe one person comes on camera. We turn off the record. Everybody's coming in. And so and we want to respect that. We want to respect people's privacy or their willingness to be on camera on the record, and they don't know where it's going to go, and that's fine. And that's where we get to kind of like relax. We can breathe a little bit better, and if you watch us live, you'll see a transformation happen. Real, when that light goes off, and we'll do our little stretches, and my hair goes up. I start.
That's right. Her hair goes up.
And we're still talking about what's important, what the topic of conversation is, and sometimes we'll veer, but we can be a little bit more relaxed. And it's fun. I don't know. I think what we just talked about was our impromptu counseling sessions that we've had on After Blabs. We get those. Yes. We get a lot of positive feedback on there. A lot of people come on and say, "Yo, I really love the show. How long have you been? The newer people, how long have you been doing this? I didn't know. I had no idea you were here. I think I saw you before somewhere, but I didn't know you did this, and this is really awesome. How often do you do it?" All of these kind of things. Mm-hmm. We get a lot of good feedback in our After Blabs. And it can get a little bit messy. It can get a little bit messy. Our language may slip a little bit more, it may not be, I might not be as pastoral.
There's a certain brother that I'm gonna throw a little bit under the bus, and I'm gonna call him Mr. After Blab, and you know who he is because he's moving to your neck of the woods just now. So
no, leave him alone.
No, Ken.
He's a good brother.
Yeah, leave him alone.
He's a good brother, but the minute that red light is off, he's in the Blab, and he's
a fool. See, look, me and Ken go back on Blabberways, and it used to only be on unrecorded Blab, where much foolishness and things, ensue. People are at this, late night Blabs. Maybe people are drinking, they're playing games or music or whatever, and you just get comfortable. So I think that, and he's been on before, on the record once, but I think it's just that people how you know them, and so he sees me on there and he sees that the light isn't on, then he's gonna try and pull late night Danielle on Sunday nights. So I don't know. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna get it. Not on my channel.
yeah, we love him to death, but that's Mr. After.
No, Yeah, but he's fun. We have a lot of people that do that. That come in after Lab, or we have the
You the king, though.
chat warriors. We have chat warriors.
You the king of.
Folks.
You the king of.
Yeah,
Last week he
yeah.
came in after our show, and you were there actually for that, and he was lit. So,
Oh yeah.
so it was funny and crazy at the same time. So yeah, pretty good. So all right, so let's talk about the future for Living Consistent. What do you guys see? This going. What do you guys want? You guys have a great thing going so far. You guys built a strong base, and where do you see going with it?
SJ, I'm gonna let you hold it. This is your baby. This is your vision. I'm just here.
No, you're actually without it doesn't exist. What I do see, this is going to last forever, of course, because everybody's trying to grow, everybody's trying to progress, and we're here to help as much as possible, serving until we can't serve no more. Our whole thing is to we have a book coming out, which is a living your purpose, and that's in detail as far as what you can expect from all our series that we've done. We're doing speaking engagements. Our main thing is to travel. We're gonna definitely try to do a Your Purpose Now tour. So we're trying to get to the point where we can see everybody, touch everybody, feel everybody. That's our thing. Go beyond the blab, but and actually be able to be in somebody's presence and help them as much as possible by going around town and talking and just enjoying people. So this is always going to be forever because everybody wants to grow, everybody wants to learn, everybody wants to advance and be better than what they are and make it to their higher self, their greater self. So it's always going to be there. It's always going to be there. But we always got to, evolve. We got to, we always thinking about new things. I'm always meditating. I'm always getting new ideas and being creative.
So full of SJ's meditative.
It's never going to stop.
And I just have to think, okay, now I need to meditate. How can I execute these things? But yeah, so as SJ said, we have a book coming out very, very soon. And it's going to be a recap of basically what Living Your Purpose has been from September to very recently. And we have other projects that will go hand in hand with that shortly after that. SJ has his own course that he's working on. I have a journal that can be a standalone or a companion to the book. And SJ really, really, really wants me to do a meditation series because I do teach meditation. So there's that. But outside of that, also, everybody likes merch. So we'll have some of that too. And I'm looking into us branching out into other platforms. We've talked about it a little bit, moving into more traditional podcast or broadcast space outside of just YouTube or SoundCloud, something that we can broadcast live, maybe simulcast and flat. There's a lot of technical mumbo jumbo that I still have to work out, and meetings that need to be had. But I do see that for us in the future, more multimedia presence live, so that we can have not just people in the chat or hit the square, but maybe call in from wherever they are. I would really love to see that for us in the next year or so.
People feel more comfortable sometimes calling in than coming up on camera. So.
Exactly, and that's what we get. A lot of people, even our diehards, will come in and turn the camera on. Xanadu, so even though everybody knows what she looks like, who she is, and all of that, she still wants to. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But that's why these seats that you have the guests in. A lot of people say, "Come sit in the hot seat. You're up. You're in the hot seat." We cut that out a long time ago. We said, "No, we're not gonna call it a hot seat. This is the love seat because we love you and you're welcome here. We don't want you to feel like you're under any type of pressure. If you feel like your privacy or security is the thing, one, you should be on Blab in the first place. And two, we respect that. We respect that. That's why we have the chat.
Right.
We're grateful for that. But we do want people to feel welcome, and they are. We let just about everybody in.
Right.
Just about.
Exactly. So everything that we do, or any type of products that we put out is going to be a guide.
Yeah.
Not much of a book, a guide, because a person needs to know how. That's the first thing. How? Why? How long I got to do this for? You know. So it's going to be more. Everything that we do is guiding you, and making you better, and seeing a different perspective on life. So everything's going to be a guide that we put out. It's here to help you
Right.
because we're here to serve.
And it's all
That's
just,
our main
again, it's just from
objective.
us. It's not. I mean, you may hear quotes here and there from other people, or old standards, but it's really just basically our words. It's where we're coming from, and what I think as like a companion to our first season and a half of Living Your Purpose. The topics, most of the topics that we've covered are going to be in that book, so you can read it. You can, if you can't, have your video on, and you can go back to the book. The sections are going to be completely independent of one another. It's not like you have to read chapter 1 to go to chapter 2 to chapter 3. Whatever part you need today, you go to that page and you read that for the day, or whatever. You can read it straight through, or you could pick a section, and everything will still fall into place. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
I'm excited about it because you guys, like I said, you guys did the thing with such passion and love. I mean, you feel the love that you give other people. It seems very genuine, and it really comes through on camera. I mean, you can just tell. You can tell that you guys have affection for each other as people, and that really works very well for what you guys are trying to do. So, kudos to you guys. I really, really like your platform, and you guys do such an amazing job with it. So,
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, that's and I don't just give out praise. So it's definitely.
Thank you 2 times for it. I feel special now.
Well,
Yay!
You guys are very special people, and
yes.
take a moment to shout out other special people that are in our chat room. We have Dante's in the chat room, LaShonda, Stephanie, Patricia, Skyrider, Leah, Vernand +1, and Xanadu are all in the chat room. And all those people who come in and out, I want to thank you guys for coming through. And
now, how many of these people have actually been on Living Your Purpose? Let's see, Dante's been there, Xanadu's been there, Steph has come in the show, Leah, our family is here.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes.
And also, too, we have a segment that we call This Day in History, and this is for June 24. And we got to go to the year 1936. Mary McLeod Bethune, founder of Bethune-Cookman College, named Director of Negro Affairs of the National Youth Administration. She was the first Black woman to receive a major appointment from the federal government. She held the post until January 1st, 1944. So that's June 24th. So we like to give out a little.
That's appropriate. I find it appropriate for today.
Right.
That's awesome.
Very good.
Nice.
I try to match it up with who I guess.
Awesome.
Well, good job, you.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna start off with you, Danielle. How can people reach you in social media and websites and such?
Oh, that's real easy. Just Google my name, Danielle K. Anderson. I am everywhere, pretty much. If you look hard enough, you'll find me on MySpace, but try not to look that hard. Okay. I'm on Facebook, Danielle K. Anderson. On Twitter, Periscope Lab, Danielle the VP. On Instagram, I am at artistic_MUA. You can find my website at crazytownhall.com. What else? Did I get them all? I think I got them.
I'm glad you didn't give out your Black Planet.
Black Planet is for sure gone. We don't have that one anymore. But MySpace, I never took it down.
Gone.
But you can find it.
That's gone.
But I'm not telling you that either. If you look hard enough, you can find my phone number. I'm not hard to find at all.
Don't look for her phone number. That's stalking.
I have a business. I don't mind calling.
Oh, I thought you
I know, right?
scared. Like,
I need people to contact. I don't want random strangers call. I have a block function on my phone. It's fine. The creepers can go, but yeah.
Okay, so creepers, you only get one call to her house, then you're blocked.
That's right.
So, but don't bother her. She got stuff to do.
You can message me on all of the other things.
There you go, creepers. Life coach SJ.
Well,
like,
you
do you prefer to be called SJ, or do you like the full life coach SJ? Okay.
SJ is great. I love SJ. Just X out the life coach, SJ. Well, you can actually get in contact with me with my website, which is www.innersouldevelopment.com. You can also find me on Instagram, which is innersouldevelopment_SJ. Also in Facebook, it's Life Coach SJ. And if you want to talk to me, do some live sessions with me, you can. 877-582-0125. 877-582-0125. I will pick up, literally. And we could do a phone session together. So anywhere, everywhere, we can be reached. And we're here to help as much as possible.
We're both on YouTube individually too. I forgot to say that. That's a little bit tricky.
Oh, yes.
You can find me on YouTube.
Yes, we are.
If you just search my name, Danielle-Anderson, and then Crazy Town, you can find me there, or you can go through Crazy Town Hall and click on one of my videos there, and it'll take you to the YouTube channel. Okay, thanks.
All right, Kiana, how can people get social media? And also, too, I don't know if you guys know this, but Kiana has been on Periscope this week, and I want you to talk about that as well, Kiana.
You really want me to talk about it? All right, I'll talk about it. Okay, well, you can find me. You guys are ready. You can find me across the board on most platforms at Happy Work Week. And I just found out today that I had a setting on Facebook where only friends of friends can add me on Facebook. So I changed that so everybody can add me now. But what I do, I do the Work Week Challenge. I brought the Work Week Challenge back. I did it last year on Periscope, and it was amazing. But I changed it a little bit, but that's the reason why you guys resonate with me so much. The challenge that I had this week was to pick your favorite plant and to really, really research your plant. And I asked my peoples and my family, my Periscope family and my Facebook family, to do this because I wanted them to connect it to themselves. So the plant actually represents themselves. And I really wanted the people to make connections on how a plant thrives. It's a slow process.
I guess we have...
What
Kiana,
thrive in, what kind of soil, and I went into depth about that.
Come back in. You were freezing out. All of a sudden, right? We get to the end, and
it always happens that way. Whenever we got something good that happened last week when we were on the show, we had somebody who was really about to tell her story about her dad and how awesome he is and 15 kids, and then all of a sudden she went into a dead zone. Like,
was there?
I was on a cliffhanger. What the heck?
Yep. Still waiting for that.
I'm still trying to find out what was up with all of that.
Yeah. So did she ever come back on?
No, she didn't. No, and she was traveling when she was on the phone on the call. So she probably just got to her. I think she came back in at like the end or something.
She never came back.
Or tweeted us or something. Said sorry, I couldn't. My phone died or something like that.
No. Now you are crystal clear.
Sorry, you guys. Maybe I was blabbing
So you were
too much. Maybe I went bloop, 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 bloop. But it is a great challenge. We had a lot of interaction this week. In my it's a happy work week community. That's what I call it. It's my Facebook group. And you guys can join us if you just go on Facebook and search Happy Work Week underneath groups. You can find us. But it's a blast, and people have been picking really great plans and really learning a lot more. And it's just been exciting. So yes, that's what I've been doing. And I'm going to come out with my book too, 7 Days of Happiness. So there's so much going on. Yes. So Kente, tell everyone how they can find you.
All right. For those who may not have heard that, she has a book coming out called 7 Days of Happiness. So it was kind of cutting up at the end. So we're going to make sure that you guys are aware of it on this show as well, other methods as well. So you can find me at Kente F. Of course, you can go to Indie Radio, indyradio.org if you want to find out more about the different shows that we do. Next week, we'll be back on. Who's our guest next week? I'm having a brain fart. Deanna.
Quali
TV, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's Deanna, right?
Yes.
We have a lot of wonderful guests lined up coming up in the next weeks. So, once again, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I admire you guys so much, and we got to definitely do this again because there's so many topics we can talk about. And one thing I like about you guys is you guys have a lot of different topics, and they're always right on point. And you guys are right on point in general with all the information to your audience. There's no judgments. There's no making people feel like they're crap. You empower people, and I think that's what's needed. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right.
Definitely.
So what we're going to do now is we are going to say goodbye